Going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. College football week 5. It's Wednesday. Time to go over the entire slate from start to finish, every single game I'm going to give you my opinion on in today's video. We're going to do the same thing with NFL. We do it every single week, but NFL is on Thursday. So, of course, the video will be out tomorrow, going over the entire slate from start to finish, every single game in the NFL. So look forward to that video. And, of course, in both videos, updating you guys with a whiteboard winning free pick. Last week, man, 2-0, gave you guys Utah money line up there. You can see it. Gave you the over in the Dallas game. That hit as well. So we moved to 5-1 on the year with my whiteboard winning free picks that I give you guys here on a weekly basis on the channel. I hope you appreciate it. Hopefully it puts a little bit of extra money in your pockets. If you guys are new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely hit that like button as well. Show your support for these videos. It definitely takes time out of my day to edit, upload, record these videos, the whole shebang. I enjoy it. I hope it helps you guys. I love seeing your comments down in the comment section below. It's just a great community here on the channel, and I just want the best for everybody. So hopefully you can get the likes up on today's video. I'll even add a little extra value in for you guys. If just 500 people, I know this video is going to get a couple thousand views at least, but if just 500 of you guys can tap that thumbs up button, I want to go right back down to that comment section and leave a pinned comment at the top with one of my best premium plays for the entire week in college football. Speaking of premium plays, you guys can see it there at the bottom of the screen. 5-3 last week, up almost 10 units. Could have been a lot better. We had Baylor as one of our losing picks. Really feel robbed on that one with, you could almost say, a double Hail Mary. I mean, it was almost 2 plays in a row where Colorado almost hit a successful Hail Mary, but they did get the second one, the more important one, the fumble in overtime. It was just insane how Baylor gave the game away. Could have been an even bigger week, but we're not going to dwell on that. We had a good week. And with every passing week, as the sample size builds and as we get more familiar with these teams, our accuracy on these picks is just going to go up and up and up, just like it did for the entire baseball season. So really excited about this slate, the next slate, the rest of the college football year. Same thing with NFL. I think we're looking pretty good. I'm really excited to see the final results at the end of the year. But let's go ahead and attack college football week 5. Again, guys, definitely subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. And if you want access to my premium picks, you can see it on the bottom of the screen there. The link to my website, danspicks.net. It's right in the description of the video below. That'll get you all sports, all access. Just depends whether or not you want to just try out a week of picks, a month, whatever you want to do. But that's all the college, all the NFL. If I'm going to bet baseball this weekend, that'll be sent out to the client list too. You basically go right onto a text list, and I hit you with a text every single day with my plays, the odds, the unit size of each play. You just copy paste the plays, man. Pretty simple deal. Let me update this here. Let me change the screen. I'm going to use FanDuel. I'm going to update the FanDuel window here today, and we're going to use that to get the most updated lines. So let me switch over this screen, and we'll grab that. Let me double check, make sure it's good for you guys. Cool. So we got FanDuel. We got college football week 5. Whole bunch of games. Hopefully you guys can lock in. Maybe go ahead and go to your settings down there and hit 1.25 speed if you're a little bit short on time. But I try to go through the slate as quick as I can for you guys. But at the same time, try to provide at least a little bit of structure to help you guys out. Game 1, Virginia Tech, Miami. Pretty big one, Friday night game. Now, here's the thing. It's in Miami, boys and girls. There's some girls on this channel, too. Hello, girls. Virginia Tech, Miami, Florida. Guys, it's Friday night in Miami. Friday night in Miami. I bet the weather's getting nice down there. The crazy, crazy heat from the dead of summer is probably coming down just a little bit. I know the weather doesn't look phenomenal for Friday for Miami, but I think the storm system's kind of passing through. Look, Dan's Rants, get it out of your mouth. What are you talking about? It's fucking Miami, people. There's a lot of distractions on a Friday night in Miami. You would think that would be a bad thing for both teams, but that's something that actually affects the home team, the team that's kind of set up there, the team that maybe thinks they have an easy win over Virginia Tech team. And there's a lot of those Miami players that are probably thinking, you know what? We're 7 in the country. I'm a big shot. I'm a D1 player on Miami. We're one of the best teams in the country. We're a big favorite. Virginia Tech has been pretty trashy this year. We're just going to kind of breeze through this team. And I just can't wait to go out after the game, after a big win, and maybe hang out with some girl I've been seeing, or go get some other girls or whatever. You know what guys do on a Friday night in Miami. I mean, come on. Look, I think it's a bad thing for Miami here. I think they might be just too far asleep. Virginia Tech, a team that had a lot of hype coming into the season, fallen drastically short. Lost to Rutgers at home, inexcusable. We saw them lose to Vandy. However, Vandy put up quite a fight against Missouri over the weekend. So I actually think the Vandy loss isn't too bad. I mean, it's still an SEC team versus ACC. I don't think that's crazy. And that was week 1 as well. Rutgers was pretty bad. But guys, I still think Virginia Tech has enough talent here to keep it within the number. And at the end of the day, we have Virginia Tech off of a bad loss to Rutgers. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this game. Usually I'm cranking through the slate, guys, but just hear me out. Friday night, Miami looking invincible. Everyone's really starting to come over to the Miami side. And I know this number's gone up, and the line movement would, suggest that Miami might be the right side. I think it's too many points. I think if Virginia Tech won versus Rutgers, that this would be more 14.5. It'd be hovering right around that two touchdown area. 16 and 17, those are key numbers. The 18, 19 up to the 20, that's a dead zone. So I don't really care if it's minus 17.5, minus 18.5, minus 19.5. Anywhere in that zone, I like Virginia Tech, man. I mean, if this gets steamed all the way up to a plus 20, I like it even more. Am I actually going to bet this one? Probably not. It's a Friday night game. I do my very best to, and I know it sounds bad to some people because they just want constant action. And some people just, oh, there's a game on tonight. Like, what are we betting? You don't have to bet every night. So sure, we have a big ACC game here on a Friday night. You guys don't have to bet it. You could literally wait 12 hours, a little bit over 12 hours, and literally bet the very next morning on a Saturday. Thursday night games in the NFL, Monday night games in the NFL, primetime stuff, these isolated games, they're generally tricky, man. If you really want to make the most money in sports betting, you just bet the boring shit. The 1 p.m. games on Sunday without the hype, the normal just afternoon games, college football on a Saturday, teams that aren't like totally under the spotlight. That's how you make the big money. You don't have to bet every single game of the week. I hate, the people that feel that urge to bet just because there's a big game. It's like, oh, there's Monday Night Football. Like, let's bet something. Let's put something together. You don't have to. In this game, you don't have to. I like the points with Virginia Tech. That's probably going to be the game that I dwell on the most here. But I just think there's enough factors in this one between the current public outlook on these teams. Virginia Tech off a terrible loss. Miami looking invincible. Friday night in Miami. Hurricane just came through. Give me the points, man. Give me the points. I think it's going to be closer to 2 touchdowns. I think Virginia Tech probably loses by about 13. I think it's too many points. Washington, Rutgers. So Rutgers fresh off of that Virginia Tech win. Washington on the road catching 2.5. I'm going to take the 2.5, man. I mean, you just went down to Blacksburg, scored a win, and now you're back at home and you're only laying the short number of 2.5. I feel like a lot of people are going to kind of hop on Rutgers after that. Give me Washington here. I think it's just a better roster overall, and we're getting points. Washington is underimpressed this year as well. It is a road game, a lot of travel. I understand these things, but I think the number just looks a little bit short. Maybe look at that plus 118 as well. Money line for Washington. Oklahoma State and Kansas State. This is an interesting line movement. It's down to 4.5 here on FanDuel. I think it was 5.5, and I don't understand it. Both teams are off ugly games, but Oklahoma State, man, they just don't come across as capable to me. Bowman, inconsistent. Ollie Gordon, way under expectation for this year. I mean, he was on the freaking Heisman watch coming into this year. I don't trust Oklahoma State's defense. Kansas State seems like a team this year where on the road, they're a fade. At home, they look nasty. They stomped Arizona to pieces. They're off a loss to BYU, but my God, look at the box score. They outgained them by a country mile. There's just certain things that happen out there in Provo in those night games where it's just like, your fate is decided. I don't think it was that bad of a loss for Kansas State. That was just a tricky spot. Like I said, the box score showed pretty good domination from Kansas State. They're the more capable team here. It's a short number. It's under that key range of 6 and 7. which I thought it would actually be closer to. I thought this would be like a 6.5 type of a spread. I don't know, man. Kansas State just seems like a team this year where they're just shaky. They're just shaky in spots, and they show up good in spots. Saturday, home game, play should be rocking. Oklahoma State, I think, has some real offensive issues. I just can't trust their offense in this spot. I got to go Kansas State. I'll lay the points. Minnesota, Michigan. Give me the points, I guess. I mean, it would be lovely to have a 10.5, of course, but this is one where the lines just, they just trick you. You see Michigan, they're coming off the big win. I was on Michigan last week. It was one of our winning plays, so I'm not a Michigan hater. I just think it's too many points. Michigan, look at the total. The total's 36.5. And we think Michigan is a team that can win by a double-digit margin? No. This is a team I want with the underdog mentality in a big game where there's enough energy in the stadium where they can get up and make something happen, just like last week. 9.5, I don't care who they're playing. Minnesota's capable enough. Maybe Michigan wins by 6 or 7. I don't see a double-digit game. Low scoring, ugly-ass game, and you're going to give me 9.5. See, on FanDuel, you can buy points too. Obviously, the Michigan 9.5 is juiced. I would recommend clicking here on more wagers, going into those alternative spreads, grabbing plus 10.5 or plus 10 with Minnesota and going with that. But just for this video, I'll still take the 9.5. If you're looking for a bigger payout, you could even take an alternative spread that's lower than 9.5. You could go down to like 7.5, shave 2 points off the spread. Still kind of the generally the same thing there. 8 and 9 are kind of dead numbers in football. I think this is a one possession game. I do still think Michigan wins it. It's just a letdown spot, and they're laying double digits with no offense. No, thank you. Give me Minnesota in the points. And if they win that game outright, I wouldn't be totally stunned. BYU Baylor, look at the line. I mean, are you going to be a sucker? So BYU just had an impressive score over Kansas State, but now we're going to trust that offense on the road against Baylor. The only worry here, man, is just the Baylor mentality. They still have a coach, though, who's on the hot seat. They should rally the troops. They should cover the spread here. 3.5, man. Don't love it. Wish it was under a field goal. I still got to lay it with Baylor. I think it's just BYU, man. That was kind of their Super Bowl of the year. Kentucky and Ole Miss. God, 17.5. I feel like the books are kind of baiting us. I know they hung in there with Georgia. That was the biggest flat spot I've ever seen for Georgia. Georgia was totally mentally disengaged with the bye week and Alabama coming up. That was like all Georgia wanted to do is just simply survive in that game. Kentucky sucks, man. I'll never, ever get over that South Carolina game. I don't trust this Kentucky team at all. I'll lay the points with Ole Miss, man. This could be a statement game. They could kill them. I got to lay it. I got to lay it or pass. Nebraska, Purdue, 10.5 point spread. Boy, Nebraska, a team that I want at home. Really like that environment, obviously, up until the Illinois loss. Still regretting that game. Almost took Illinois with the points and sent it out to premium, but I ended up passing on it just because of how crazy the home field environment was for Nebraska. I don't know, man. Purdue's on a down year as well. They're not impressive. Still a road game for Nebraska. Nebraska will go in there. They're going to get the job done. They're going to get a win. I can't lay 10.5 with Nebraska on the road. I'll take Purdue in the points. Northern Illinois, NC State, 6.5 point spread. Northern Illinois was on them in that Notre Dame game. That's their Super Bowl, man. Is it just going to be downhill from here? Is NC State capable enough to cover 6.5 here? I think they are. I think at the end of the day, Northern Illinois had a historic win, but man, it just blows your cover. Then everybody takes you serious. NC State, man, they did fight in that Clemson game. One of my premium picks last week was Clemson. It cashed with absolute ease. But NC State, man, they continued to kind of keep their foot on the gas, keep scoring at the end of the game. They showed a little bit of heart, and I do like to see that. Maybe they get right and they have a feel-good game here. I'll lay the points with NC State. Maryland, Indiana, I have no idea. I think this is a very, very accurate spread. I want to take the points with Maryland, to be honest. I I know it's under the key number of 7. It looks attractive to lay the number with Indiana. Ever since really the Michigan State game, people have kind of jumped off Maryland. It makes sense. And they're definitely shaky on the road. I'm going to take the points, man. I see a plus 100 there and 6.5. It's a pretty good payout. I think this game should be pretty competitive. I'll take the points. Maybe it gets backdoor covered at the end. Western Kentucky, BC, no real opinion here. BC is going to win this game. Maybe it's just a hair too many points. Maybe it's a 10-point win. But BC, man, good year for them. Navy UAB pass. Absolutely no idea. South Florida, Tulane. I don't know. Is South Florida a team that you just bet when they want to like get up for a big opponent? Could this be a flat spot for USF here? Tulane and roll them? Kind of like Tulane at home here, man. I think USF might be kind of a public underdog. I kind of like Tulane, and usually I like to take the 6.5s versus laying them. I think I'm leaning towards Tulane in that one. Ball State, JMU, that's a clear pass. A big spread with a team that just blew out UNC with a 70 burger on them. No, pass. Texas State, Sam Houston State, not going to waste my breath on a game like that. Louisville, Notre Dame, big game. Big game. This is a game that I just don't know if you can bet it. We still don't know about these teams. We know more about Notre Dame than we do Louisville. Now, Louisville didn't look great against Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech is at least a capable team. And we don't know if Louisville was sandbagging for this game. And I do think that's the case. I'm going to take the points. This is the game where we're going to find out about Louisville. Are they going to go right in there and get a win? I mean, Notre Dame's offense, it's not impressive, guys. Take the under in this game as well. Under 46.5. I probably like better than the spread. But that's a pretty low total. That's a medium low total for college football. Mid 40s. I would even maybe say on the low side of things. Should be competitive. As long as it's a 2-score game, this could always get backdoor covered. I feel like Louisville has been sandbagging. I feel like they have a slight coaching advantage. Notre Dame's defense is serious, but I just can't trust the offense. I feel like this game was so circled on the schedule to where maybe we have not seen Louisville's best effort yet. The only thing that kind of contradicts everything I just said is the just brutal home loss to Northern Illinois. I mean, is Notre Dame just pissed off, and are they just looking to take care of business with full mental engagement on every single game because they have to if they want a shot at the playoff? That's the only thing that make me think, Notre Dame could be a play here. Just the fact that they already blew just such an atrocious game. I don't think it's enough. 6.5, it just feels like a lot. This should be like 3, man. If I had a sports book and I was going to let all you guys bet on it, I'd probably hang a 3.5 or 4.5 out there. I'd probably make Notre Dame a much shorter favorite. 6.5, give me the 6.5. Give me the 6.5. Give me the under. Wisconsin, USC. God, I don't know. Is USC a team that was just like so much hype beginning of the season and they're just going to like slowly just go sideways and down? Give me the points, man. Wisconsin's off a bye. They were totally in that Alabama game, man, until the injury with the quarterback. That live spread, man, it was down to like a 6. They had the lead. The mojo is there. And we all know Madison's a good environment. Now you give this backup at least some time to get comfy here, man. I think he can do enough. I'll take the points. It's over 2 touchdowns. I'll take the points. The total's only 50 in the game. Maybe it's a 10-point win for USC. 30-20 type game. Massachusetts, Miami, Ohio. Easy win for Miami, Ohio. Do they cover it? No idea. Pass. Louisville, Wake Forest, pass. I mean, get out of here. Liberty, App State. What are we doing? Lay the points with Liberty. I mean, do we see App State against Southern Alabama? My God, that team is not worth your money. Liberty, minus 3.5. Sure. Fresno, UNLV. Boy, that's kind of a tough game. I think I'd take the 3.5 with Fresno in that one. Give me the dog. They might win that one outright. San Diego State, Central Michigan, no idea. Oh, I went too far. Hold up. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, no idea. Western Michigan, Marshall. I mean, at least Marshall's used to a little bit better talent. I mean, you're coming off an Ohio State game. It might feel like you have like a pretty easy time going here against Western Michigan. I just don't know about where the mental engagement with them is going to be. No, thank you. Akron, Ohio, no, thank you. Eastern Michigan, Kent State, no, thank you. Oklahoma, Auburn. I think we got to lay it, man. Auburn's in big trouble. Oklahoma, at least they were like, I get the final score, but I at least like the defense, man. I like the defense, and I think the offense is still at least capable. But, man, I will tell you guys, I've done this for so long. Generally, when you see a ranked team, especially like 21, like we're not talking 25, we're Oklahoma, and they're off the Tennessee loss as well. So a pretty big time team, Oklahoma, ranked team, some hype. They're coming in off a game which they really wanted to win. So maybe their mentality is a little bit down. You can say bounce back spot if you want. Auburn's been horrendous, and it's only 2.5. This is like one of those college basketball scenarios where you just take the short home dog, man. I know Oklahoma's a better team. I like the D, but God, if you can't score, you can't score. If the game's close at the end, anything can happen at the end, and maybe something crazy happens at the end and Auburn squeaks off a win. Probably not worth money being wagered on a game like this. I'm still going to roll with the Sooners. Auburn, man, pretty bad team. Arkansas, A&M, interesting quarterback situation with A&M. It depends, man. It depends on that. I mean, are they gonna just try to switch up the offense and all of a sudden they're gonna look like really good this week? It's possible. We know the home field situation there is big time. I don't like the fact that Arkansas let Oklahoma State, totally come back and win that game. 3.5 looks tempting. I'm still gonna take it. Give me the 3.5 with Arkansas. That's a cross your fingers and close your eyes type of a bet. TCU, Kansas. Flip a coin. Give me Kansas. Kansas on the money line. Jaden Daniel, man, he was so good. How could he have declined on this level? They still have good receivers. They still have an NFL running back. The only problem is this game isn't in Lawrence. They still got this stadium thing going on this year. The game's not played truly at home. I'll take Kansas. Don't love it. TCU can easily win that game. Colorado, UCF. This line is wild. I mean, it went from 13 through the 14. Now it's 15.5 in like a blink of an eye. Almost sent it out to the group at 13.5. Now it's probably a pass. Is Colorado going to win this game? No. Can they cover 2 full touchdowns? I still think no. I'm going to lay the 15.5 with UCF. My opinion on Colorado is no different. I see this being more of like a Nebraska game. It's a shitty number. We lost a good number. I still have to lay 15.5, man. UCF could really roll this team and chew up like 7 or 8 minutes per possession and punch in and touchdowns, kill the clock and just really win this thing like 31-10 or something. I got to roll UCF there. North Carolina, Duke. Well, in a few months, this will be a big deal. For now, it's not. I don't care. Give me Duke on the money line. Forget it. UTSA, Eastern Carolina, no idea. Mississippi State, Texas. I don't know. Lay the big number. What a horrendous game. Old Dominion, Bowling Green. I mean, both these teams are generally like pretty good for being like off the radar games. And I told you guys my long shot was Bowling Green over Texas A&M. They almost got it done. They look good against Penn State. They look good against A&M. Are they good enough to lay 8.5 though? I mean, they're kind of a team where you want as the big underdog. Do they care as much for a game like this? I don't know. Still got to lay it. La Tech, FIU, no. UT Martin, no. Stanford, Clemson, no. Too big of a number. I feel like it's too big of a number. Stanford just went on the road and beat Clemson, man. I think the offense is capable enough. Clemson's really starting to feel themselves. Is that a good thing for momentum to where they just get better and better and better and better, and this thing snowballs and Clemson all of a sudden is top 5 in front of our eyes before we know it in the playoff, considered one of the favorites? Maybe. I think the offense will have success here. I don't know. It just feels like a backdoor cover. I think Stanford is just capable enough. They hung in there with TCU. You beat a good Syracuse team on the road. You're catching 3 touchdowns and a hook. I think I got to take the points here. And I was on Clemson last week. I just think that level of dominance that Clemson has shown post-Georgia game, is it starting to inflate these numbers just a little bit? It could, but the momentum could carry over as well. Tough call. I'll go with Stanford in the points. Iowa State, Houston, 13.5-point spread. Houston, man. Houston, do we have a problem? My God, are they going to score in this game? I think you got to lay the number. I mean, they're going to score less than 10 points in this game, aren't they? Under 43.5. Iowa State's got pretty good D. Houston might have a little bit of energy at home to at least play some D themselves. Iowa State's offense can kind of be a little bit blah. 43.5, boy, it's a low number. I'm still going under it. Don't love the spread. Iowa State probably wins that one, though. Next 2 games, garbage. Georgia, Alabama. Well, we have a public underdog. Let's look at the money splits for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I looked earlier in the week. I thought this one would pop to a -3. I was wrong. And this is probably going to be damn near a pick'em by game time. Honestly, by Saturday night, is Alabama going to be a short favorite? Look, the money splits look good for Alabama. We're looking at about 53% of bets on the spread. Now, it's a very short line, so people could easily just be wagering on the money line. The money line is a little bit heavier, a little bit more public for Bama. 59.3% of bets on the money line are Bama. But for both, we're looking at about 68% of the money. So a little over half of the tickets have come in on both the spread and the money line for Alabama, but almost 70% of the money. So you could say there's a little sharp action. I don't think so. I think it's just dollar amounts adding up. Everyone's in love with Alabama. I mean, what are we doing? Am I the only person in the country that thinks Georgia could stomp Alabama in this spot and go in there and win by 10? Am I tripping? Georgia is off a Kentucky game where they looked horrendous and they were lucky to win the game. It was a flat spot. They didn't care. They were mentally disengaged. On the road, Kentucky always gives Georgia problems. Kentucky was off multiple games of being embarrassed. I mean, that was the ultimate flat spot versus a team that was hungry to at least do something good. There was a bye week ahead of Georgia. They literally just went in there just hoping they could survive. All eyes were on this game. This is a revenge spot. Bama got them last year. The line movement, the money splits, it's making me hesitate so far. But I like Georgia. I like Georgia potentially big. And I'd be happy to come on here next week and say I was wrong. The whole world's in love with Bama because they beat up on their last game against a Wisconsin team that had them on the ropes. I mean, are we tripping? I remember looking at the live spread when early in that game, it was down to like 6 points. And Alabama was a huge road favorite against Wisconsin. If that starting quarterback didn't get injured, I think that one was in line for an upset. I really feel that way. So you have Alabama off just a huge blowout where they blasted Wisconsin, a big household good program. So it makes Alabama look really good. We know Milroe's still there. We know they're still pretty nasty at defense. And we have Georgia, who barely squeaked by a Kentucky team, who lost to a South Carolina team, who lost to an LSU team. I think all these things just contribute to a line being lower and more money coming on Alabama, and I don't buy it. Give me Georgia. Give me Georgia pretty comfortably, too. See what happens, man. That's college football. You never know. Alabama, night game, at home. That's a tough environment, and that should be worth quite a few points as is. So keep that in mind. Ohio State, Michigan State here. I don't know. I mean, how do you bet a game like this? Ohio State with just a pathetic schedule. Are they finally going to get tested? I mean, how good's Michigan State? Is Michigan State even good to even say this is a test? Probably. So we're going to find out how good Ohio State is. I don't know if it's worth betting on a game because this would be the definition of gambling. On certain games where you have a lot of stats on certain teams, you've seen them against good people on the road, home. We have a lot of things you can look at. You can make an educated guess. Ohio State and Michigan State, man, this is just like you're still kind of guessing on who these teams really are. I could see Ohio State shutting Michigan State's offense right off. I could see Michigan State scratching and clawing a little bit. Probably look at the under in this game, but we're at least going to find out how good Ohio State is. They could go in there and blast them by 40 and actually show up for a week and really say, like, don't forget about us. We might have played some high school teams to start the year. Now we're trying. Illinois, Penn State. So here's another interesting one. Illinois off a huge win. Illinois 4-0 in the first time in a while. Okay. They're ranked 19, huge game. Penn State, you start the season at West Virginia, very impressive win. They've kind of just, waltzed their way through the rest of the schedule. I don't know, man. This is just where I just feel like the whole universe is jumping on Illinois. You went to Nebraska and won. You're getting a ton of points, 17.5. It's a nice number. You get the 16, the 17, the 2 full touchdowns, and then some. Feel like it's just way too easy just to grab those points and hope Illinois can yet again go on the road and be competitive. Give me Penn State, man. And I think, let me double check here. Let me double check. Yep. That's the one, ladies and gentlemen. That is the whiteboard winning free pick of the week. Penn State minus 16.5/17. The reason I put that on the screen is because of the money on Illinois. And I do think this point total is going to drop by the time we get to game time. At 17.5, don't love it as much, but I do think we're going to get either the 16.5 or the 17. So with that being said, guys, Penn State laying the big number at home. I was physically at the West Virginia game. Those boys are impressive. I think the Illinois win over Nebraska, all it did was let Penn State know they got to give their full effort here. I think start to finish, Penn State could kill them. I think this Illinois offense who's looked pretty good, this Illinois team that's looked pretty good, this Illinois team that's 4-0 out of nowhere and ranked 19th in the country, and everybody loves them now. It's kind of a good story. I think we got a coaching mismatch. We got a coach on that Penn State side who likes to run things up when he can. I think this one could get ugly. I'll go ahead and lay the points with Penn State in a game where it just seems all too easy to take 17.5 points with a team that just went on the road and beat Nebraska. Sports betting is not that easy. Give me Penn State. I'll lay the big number. Middle Tennessee, Memphis, no idea. South Alabama, LSU, maybe the over. Florida State, SMU. Give me SMU minus 5.5. Florida State got their win. Congrats. They still suck. SMU, lay it. New Mexico State, no chance. Air Force, Wyoming, no idea. Cincy, Texas Tech, 2.5 point spread. I think it's come down from 3. I think it's come down for good reason. Texas Tech, bad start to the season, looked better as of late. Still like this Cincy team. At the end of the day, they pounded on that Pittsburgh team until they gave back the comeback, kind of similar to what we saw with Pitt and West Virginia. I like Cincy. I like their ability to run the football. I don't know, man. Line just looks a little bit short here. I'll go ahead and take the 2.5. I'm going to take the 2.5 in what should be a close game. I'll take Cincy. Washington State, Boise State, over 64.5. I don't know about the spread. Probably take the points with Washington State. They just continue to get disrespected. Arizona, Utah, 11.5 points. Well, we saw what Arizona did at Kansas State. Is this even going to be worse? I mean, if you couldn't score on the road against Kansas State, and I know it could be a little bit of a letdown spot coming back home off the Oklahoma State win. I mean, that was a big time win for Utah. Dude, I got to lay it. I can't trust Arizona's offense. I thought it'd be better this year. Love the quarterback. Love McMillan there. It's a nice combo. That's about all they got. I think they're going to get dominated at the line of scrimmage. Maybe they score some points late. Hopefully they don't backdoor cover the spread. I got to lay it with Utah, man. This seems pretty serious. And then on the last game here is Oregon and UCLA, 24.5-point spread. Who fucking knows? UCLA looked halfway decent against LSU, but that was LSU. I think I'd lay the points with Oregon. I think they're looking for style points. They could lay it on them. So there you go, guys. That is that's it, baby. I mean, that's it. That's college football. Week 5, every single game. Hopefully, you guys appreciate the video. Again, drop a like on today's video if you haven't yet. 500 of those. I'll leave a comment at the top of the comment section with a premium play for you guys. You want the premium plays? You want the best stuff? Up 9.9 units last week. We're going to do better this week. We still got some catching up to do this season, kind of after a nasty week 1. This is going to be a big week. The dam's about to break. We're going to crush NFL as well, too. Just had too much struggle this year in the NFL. I think this week we finally start to get some consistency. The sample size, okay, the week 1 craziness, the week 2 overreactions, I think all the kinks are starting to work out. The NFL will become consistent like normal, at least as consistent as it can be. Feeling great about this weekend. I think it could be a historic one. It's just kind of about that point in time where, certain people say this, certain people say that. Things go this way, things go that way. Certain things feel a certain way. The dam's about to break. Happens every single year. It's going to be a big weekend. Hop on board, guys. Just try it out. Get a week of picks if you want. I'll get you right on that text list. Get you all the plays, live bets, all the stuff like that. You can also consider the SoBet link in the description below. A lot more cost effective. It's only about $9 a month. You get access to that entire SoBet platform. It's not just me. I don't put my full card on there. I put a very, very low volume of plays. You can see the full description on the SoBet platform down there. But there's like 65 people now dropping their plays on that SoBet platform. So if you want access to a really, really cool kind of it's kind of like its own social media type of a platform with nothing but professionals dropping their plays. And besides me, all the other people on there, they drop all their plays on that platform for everybody to see. Literally hundreds of bets every single day that you can get from other professionals on SoBet. There's an interactive leaderboard. You can follow who's hot. It's a home run. $10 a month. That is a lot of plays for a pretty small investment. So just something to consider if you're interested. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow with the NFL video going over all the games in the NFL for week 4. Good luck this week, guys. Catch you in the next video.